welcome back. And as promised, we told you we are going to be reviewing recreational vehicle products that will complement your RVing experiences while you're out on the road. We know a lot of you take kayaks. We know a lot of you have boats behind your RVs. When I was recently in Orlando, Florida, I ran across a very cool and unique little boat, and I thought that this would be of a lot of interest to a lot of RVers out there. With PinkFlamingo RV Radio spending a lot of time at Lake Mead, Nevada, or the possibility of any listeners spending time at a lake or a river, and possibly wanting to spend time on the water instead of sitting on the banks and looking out at it, you're going to want to hear this next guest, and you're definitely going to want to check out their website. It is CraigCat.com. That is CraigCat.com. Let me give just a brief explanation of what this boat is. The CraigCat is a two-person, it's a side-by-side pontoon catamaran. It's powered by an outboard motor, and it's equipped with all kinds of features on it. This is not a stripped-down version whatsoever. And joining us on the phone today is none other from CraigCat, Orlando, Florida, the president, founder, and designer of the CraigCat, Mr. Robert Craig. Robert, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Tracy, for having us. I really appreciate the time. And the interest, incidentally. So I'm glad to do it.
My first impression when I saw the CraigCat sitting there in Orlando was, wow, this is unique. It's not your typical looking boat, and it's got just such a different form and function to it. So when I looked at it, I thought, wow, this is very new and unique. It's not all that new, is it?
No, actually, you come to OIA, Orlando International Airport, and we're very proud of this. This says a lot for the product. We've been around since 1990. We actually been building catamarans for over 50 years.
Wow. And
we're family-owned, of course. But during the first 20 or 25 years, I had been working on a completely new design. And let me explain to you why. I come from a place called Erie, PA, and outside of Erie, of course, you know, everybody knows, most people know that the Great Lakes is pretty rough. And Erie is no exception, to say the least. Lake
No.
Erie is no exception. It's pretty doggone rough. And so how it actually started, I was a kid at the time, and, you know, there were seasons where there was great perch fishing, pike fishing, and so on and so forth. And my dad, he always owned the 16, 18-foot boats, and we would go down to a place called Shorewood to launch these boats. And we would look out there, and there was 2 or 3 foot waves with a little foam breaking on the top, you know, and my dad would say, listen, kids, sorry, we can't go out because it's too dangerous. And you know what? He was right. I grew up quickly finding out that conventional boats, small boats, were nothing but bathtubs. They're all bathtubs. They all take on water. You have to sit one behind the other. They're tipsy. They're uncomfortable. Women hate them. I decided early on in my life that I was going to approach things from a completely unique and different aspect. And anyway, as it turned out, I mentioned a few minutes ago about the Orlando airport. We actually did this in such grand fashion that you come into OIA, Orlando International Airport, the main floor, the third floor there, right next to the world's largest airlines, the United Airlines ticket counter, and the escalator going down to baggage, and you'll find the CraigCat sitting there. Longest anything's ever been displayed at OIA is 30 days. That boat has been there now for 24 months, and it's not coming out.
Wow, kudos
that's
to you.
what the city of Orlando thinks about our product. It is extremely unique. The CraigCat, what it does is it addresses the shortcomings in small boats. You mentioned the catamaran, and that's exactly what this boat is. It is a true catamaran. Incidentally, there's a lot of companies that insinuate they're cat by putting cat in their name when they're a double-hulled boat. Totally different design. But the CraigCat, unlike other catamarans, catamarans typically like to draw a straight and level line in the water. They are by nature very, very stable, but the problem is they like to draw a straight and level line in the water because they're displacement hull. They ride down in the water. A CraigCat is a planing hull. It rides on top. So consequently, we can use a much smaller engine because the engine's only pushing boat. It's not pushing boat and water,
right?
Because of these displacement hulls. And not only that, but it does very, very well in rough water. We're not advocating taking boats out in rough water, especially small ones. But you know what? Sometimes, especially here in down south in Florida, it'll be, you can go from 5-mile-an-hour winds to 30-mile-an-hour winds literally in 1 minute. I don't know if you know that or not, but that's one of the things that does happen. So it's nice to have a platform under you that is safe. And incidentally, we designed it for as much for the ladies as for the guys. These are the only banking catamarans in the world. All catamarans, power catamarans, lean to the outside in the turn. A CraigCat leans to the inside, making it extremely safe. And, of course, the ladies like it because they feel safe and secure on it, because it has ASC, automatic stability control. We've addressed things that other boats dream about doing and can't do, and this is why it's catching on. And we actually have a waiting list for our boats, thankfully, and this has been going on for probably about a year or 2 years, a little over a year and a half now. And everything is done factory direct. We used to have 120 dealers worldwide, got rid of every one of them.
Wow.
Because, we literally did, and because boats were so hot, the dealers were taking advantage, and so Tesla got Car of the Year 5 years in a row. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
And in 2014, he did the same thing we did, got rid of all his dealers, and if you go on his website, he even talks to you and says, what he says very diplomatically is that he was treated unfairly by the dealers, and this is what happens with very hot products. Dealers play bait and switch. I won't go into all that. But anyway, I urge everybody to go to CraigCat.com. We do ship all over. In fact, we actually have people on the road all the time, and we have several truck lines that do it. And we also own our own trailers and diesel trucks. And we deliver them all over the United States. People are buying them factory direct. They're no longer having to go through a dealer, so they're getting the true scoop. They're either talking to my son Eric or myself or our wife Ivana, and this is done the old-fashioned way. But our boats most of it are handmade. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah,
But anyway, quality's a big thing with us.
There were a couple of things that I wanted to touch on. We only have about 2 minutes left here. That people need to understand how small this boat is for as stable as it is. It only weighs, the boat itself, 525 pounds, and with the trailer, 850 pounds, which means you have pictures on your website. You can tow this with a Mini Cooper. You can tow it with a smart car.
I own one.
And perfect. And you have a picture of a Honda Goldwing trike that's towing one of your CraigCats. And so now the CraigCat is in several places throughout the world, Europe, Florida, San Diego, that they're using them for tours. People can actually go out and rent these, and they take them out on tour. Right. How cool is this that, in my opinion, when I first saw it, this is now what I consider, with my automotive background, the go-kart or sports car of the waterways. It sits low.
Yes, PWC's personal watercraft, those were invented by a motorcycle enthusiast. The CraigCat, it does have side-by-side seating. Two large guys can literally stand on one side, jump up and down. That boat will stay flat in the water. And it does not take on water. Because all small boats are bathtubs, they all take on water. This is the problem. CraigCats will not take on water, and consequently, with this ASC system, automatic stability control, and the whole 9 yards, you'll find that you, unlike other boats, you feel safe and secure. My wife and I, incidentally, own an RV, and we realized that, it's nice to have something like this to tow behind it so you can go out there on the water. And there's people running all over North America. We have people even going down to Cancun, Mexico, and everything else with their CraigCats and really enjoying them. So you can take them out there in the intercoastal and stuff like that around here, and really not feel threatened, which is unique among small boats, because typically that's what happens. But you're absolutely right.
No, I think you are definitely onto something. I think anybody that is interested in having a small towable boat to go behind their RV needs to check out CraigCat.com. Robert, I am so impressed the fact that, number one, you're a family-owned business. You're operating here as a family business, manufactured in Orlando. You designed the boats themselves or yourself. Thank you so much for the time you spent with us, folks. Be sure to go to CraigCat.com. It's CraigCat. PinkFlamingo.com, or you can call them toll free at 877-999-4228. Robert, we're going to have you back on the show again. We'd love to talk to you more about CraigCat, and we'll talk about where some of the other places are that CraigCat will be, that folks can go out and actually rent these and see what they're like personally.
Well, thank you. And, having spent 35 years in California and on the West Coast and all that, it's a delight to know that you're there, your program's there, and we would wish that your program, we have a lot of fabulous RVs out here and RV spots for for all you RVers. And by gum, we'd love to see that radio station or that your radio program out here as well in Florida. It'd be a real great thing to have, and I just wish you thank you for having us, Tracy, and thanks so much.
Well, I appreciate it, Robert. We'll see what we can do about getting it down there to Florida. We'd love to be down there, but we will keep in touch, and thanks so much for being with us, folks. Thanks so much for listening. We will be right back. This is Pink Flamingo RV Radio, the voice of the RV industry.